Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing okay. This Tuesday afternoon, we're going to do a Rashi from this parsha of Bo. If I can find it here, give me 1 second. Too many things open on my computer. Here we go. This is a short Rashi, but important one. Again, I apologize about yesterday. Also, not being here. This is the end of the third Aliyah. So the Torah is describing what's happening in the various plagues that are being described here before Makas Bechoros in the beginning of Parshas Bo. Vayomer Hashem Moshe Od Nega Echad, as the preface to Makas Bechoros, Hashem tells Moshe there's one more Makkah. Avi al Paro val Mitzrayim achrechen yishalach eschem mizeh kishalcho kala garesh yigaresh eschem mizeh. Not only will he let you leave, he's going to kick you out. He's going to want you to leave. And listen to this: Daber na beoznei ha'am. Speak to the people in their ears. V'yishalu ish me'israel v'yisha me'isru usa kle kesef uchle zahav. And tell the people to go ask one person from their neighbor or from their friend, and one man from a man, one woman from a woman, for gold and silver. This is the whole episode of taking the riches of Egypt. This is what happens, supposedly according to Chazal, during Makas Choshech, which is at the tail end over here in our Aliyah. And this is something that is integral to the whole story of Yetzias Mitzrayim. It was promised already to Avram Avinu in the Bris Bein HaBesarim that part of the idea of Yetzias Mitzrayim is that we would take the riches along. So Rashi sees the importance of this in the word na, daber na. All of these commands given to Moshe are just commands. Daber be'oznei ha'am, vayomer le'mor. These are the usual conventions in the way Hashem communicates to Moshe and Aaron. Speak to the people. Do this, do that, speak this, speak that, say this, say that. He never says na, which means please. Daber na, please speak. So why is the na included here in this passage? Daber na, ein na el lashon bakasha. This is the language of pleading, of request, not the language of command, but the language of request. God says, please, I beg of you. This is really important to me. Bevakasha mimcha, please, I beg of you, hazhiram akach, warn them about this. There was something different about this command. What was this command? Shelo yomar oso tzadik avihem, vavadum veinuotam, kiyem bahem, vachrechen yitzur b'chush gadol, lo kiyem bahem. So that they shouldn't say about the great Avram Avinu that he was promised that his children would be enslaved, and he was promised that they would leave with great riches. And God fulfilled promise number one. He certainly enslaved his descendants, but he never gave them the riches that they were supposed to have when they left. The fascinating way of phrasing this. So firstly, just the Rashi and the Na in our pasuk underscores the importance of this event for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and there are many explanations for why it's important. There's explanations having to do with psychology. There's explanations having to do with finance, right? You could say they were owed back pay for all their years of slavery. So Hashem wanted to ensure that they got paid for their work. You could say that it was psychological, right? There had to be a reversal of the hierarchy of power, right? You had the Egyptians ruling over the Jews. And in order for them, when they left, to have closure over this episode, they had to reverse it. They had to be able to be the ones to rule over the Egyptians. And the way to do that was to take their wealth. Other explanations have to do with the Mishkan, right? They needed all this gold and silver to be able to build the Mishkan. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu felt it was integral that they take it now because they would never get it in the desert. A whole host of explanation in a very interesting topic. There's a lot to say about that and the whole shir in of itself. But what I want to show you from Rashi is that there's another answer embedded in this Rashi, which I think is also important. Rashi's highlighting the point here that this is really about integrity. It's about the integrity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the integrity of Avram Avinu. Hashem promised something, and while he promised many things that were occurring, this was particularly important to him because he wanted to show his integrity. He wanted to show that if the difficult part of his promise was fulfilled, then the good part of his promise was fulfilled as well. That he was a person, a being, so to speak, of integrity. And that what he said would happen actually does happen and doesn't fall down on his word. And I think that has important implications beyond this story of taking the wealth, beyond the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim. just to underscore for us the importance of integrity, of sticking by our word. We're finishing Maseches Nedarim today in Daf Yomi, the idea of upholding our words. When are our words taken away from us? When are our words upheld? Lo yachel devaro, not making our words into chulin, into something that's cheap. Words are too cheap. We have to be able to stand by our words and stand by our actions and our promises as people of integrity, just as HaKadosh Baruch Hu did over here. And that's such an important principle that Hashem goes out of his way to say, daber na, please. I'm not just commanding you to do this, I'm asking you to do this from the bottom of my heart. Something very powerful to think about. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a great day. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. You too. Feel well.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good trip.
Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Are you teaching tomorrow?
Yeah, God willing, tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you.